We have an update to a story we brought you earlier today about a slew of car break-ins in Shelburne. Police are now saying there were additional break-ins in neighboring Charlotte. The thieves caught on surveillance video in Shelburne. Police say overnight at least 2 people broke into cars and mailboxes along Ridgefield Road and stole one car that has since been recovered. Now, police also say 2 cars were stolen on Greenbush Road in Charlotte. Images from the Charlotte incident appear to show a man wearing similar clothes and backpack as the suspect in the Shelburne video. However, police have not confirmed whether they think the incidents are related. If you live in that area, police want you to review your security cameras and call them with any information. It's also a reminder not to leave anything valuable inside your car.